Okay, Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi. We haven't been around for 3 weeks. We did Parshas and Noach. Now you have to do Lech Lecha v'Yeyor Chayesoro. Each year will be 15 minutes. And we had a blackout, as millions of people know. Sandy knocked us out of light and heat. It was a disaster for that week, the next week, and now this is the third week. It was a disaster. So now let's do 15 minutes on Lech Lecha, and then we'll shut it off. We'll start a new video, Vayera, and then Chayesoro, because no one wants to sit to an hour and a half, so we'll make it 15 minutes each. Let's pick some highlights from Lech Lecha. Hashem told Avram at the age of 75, Lech Lecha me'aretzcha moladcha mebeis avicha, your country, your city, your family, and go to the land I'll show you. He didn't tell him where. Where was Avram living? He lived in Iraq, in what later is called Bavel, or Aram Naharayim, the Aram between the two rivers, Tigris and Euphrates. When you come from Eretz Yisrael and go east for about 380 miles, you get to the Euphrates, Prus. That's the beginning of Iraq. Then you go through Iraq and you get to the Tigris, the Chidekel, that's Iran. And they've been fighting for centuries, but now last 1,000 years, between Iraq and Iran. Anyhow, Avram lived on the Euphrates River. On top is Charan. All the way in the bottom is Ur Kasdim. And right in the middle is Nineveh, believe it or not. Mosul, they call it today. Iraq. Anyhow, so Avram told him at the age of 75. How do you know? Because Lech Lecha, go for yourself for the next 100 years. Because Lech Lecha is 100. Lamed Chav is 30, 20 is 50. And Lamed Chav, 30 and 20 is 50. 50, 50 is 100. So he lived to 175 because now he's 75. So he went on it. When both people retire, he started his mission to spread monotheism throughout the world. They all believe, no, they were not fools. They all believe there's a God. But they believe we have to serve God's Shamus, the sun. That's why it's called Shemesh, Shamash, Shemesh. It's the servant of God, and the moon, and the planets, and animals, and rain, and this. They figured they had to serve also his servants. We don't believe in that. He promulgated the concept of a Shem Echad, one God, period, that's it. Because the sun has no power of itself. Sometimes it's not there. And the moon has no power over itself because sometimes it's not there, like in the daytime. Well, it's there, but you can't see it. But Hashem is there all the time. Hashem Echad Shmo Echad. That he had to tell the world monotheism. There is one God. Even modern day religions, one nation, millions of billions that believe in Allah, but they think their God told them to kill all infidels, means everybody who's not a Muslim. And then the other religion made one into three because they also have it wrong. There is only one, period. And Avram had to teach that to the people. The invisible God is the real God. Everything that's physical is not real because you can burn and destroy. And everything, even liquid, you can disappear into gas. And you can get rid of gas too by burning it. Everything real is invisible. Everything unreal is physical, like this table. You can burn it, it's gone. You cannot destroy a soul. Hitler killed 6 million bodies. He didn't kill any souls. You can't kill the neshama because what's invisible is real, like Hashem, like Ruach HaKodesh, like Nevuah, like radio waves, like magnetism, like gravity. Everything that's real is invisible. That's why tzaddikim don't want their picture taken because that's not the real person. That's only the guf. Anyhow, Hashem told him, Lech Lecha me'aretzcha moladcha mebeis avicha, and to the land I'll show you. So he went for 3 days. And a cloud, he followed the cloud. Of course, he was going west to Eretz Canaan. And then finally, after 3 days, how did he get there in 3 days? From the Euphrates River till the Yarden is 380 miles. How did he get there in 3 days? 60 miles a day walking? 120 miles a day? At Kfisa Saderech, he was there. He saw the place far away. That's called a Goy Gadol. I'm going to make you a great nation. Millions of Jews will come to you. And also your name will be greater. From Avram to Abraham, I'll make you greater. I'll bless you with money. He was the richest man in the Middle East, besides the kings. I'll enlarge your name, which means I'll make you world known. You'll be a bracha. I'll bless those who bless you. And those who curse you, I will curse. Who would want to curse Avram, who's only did chesed to people? Who would want to curse Avram? They Goyim called him Nasi Elokim Atobas V'chein. You are a prince of God. You're a leader. People of when he wanted to buy a caver for Rachel, nobody refused a caver to him because he's the greatest man in the world, the biggest. He was an astronomer teacher in Egypt. He taught math and science in Egypt, and he was the greatest, the richest man. And who would want to hate him? So my father brings down the Sefer Mind basis She'eva. When you're very, very, very holy, you attract haters. Positive attracts negative. Haman wanted to wipe out all Jews in one day because he's anti-Hashem, Haman. Hitler too. Make the world Yud Nerai, not one Jew left in the world. The more Tama you are, the more attracted you are to Kedusha. The two opposites attract. The more holy Abraham was, there are certain people that hate him. Moshe Rabbeinu had haters. If you have no haters, it means you're not an Ish Emes. If you're an Ish Emes, you have people that hate you in a small amount. Because Tumah is the opposite of Tahara. Kedusha is the opposite of Tumah. So he said, I'm going to curse your cursers. V'yelech Avram, kasher diber elav Hashem, v'yelech ito lod with them. Avram and Chomesh Shana v'shim Shana, it was 75 years when he left Choron. Where's his wife? Vayikach Avram et Sarai, 5 years later, when he was 75, then he took his family with him. When he was 70, he went there, and he looked at the land, walked right and left, up and down. That's how he's combed at the property, by walking on it. And he wanted to see if he could live there, and he came back and got his wife at 75. And she came with him. Yikach Sorah Ishto Lot Ben Achiv again. 5 years later, and then Lot Ben Achiv, his nephew, there's called Rechushim, all their wealth. They were very wealthy. Asher Rachishu that they acquired. There's a nefesh shas v'chorim. The many souls he converted to monotheism. 318 of them. V'choron. V'yetzer Lech Lecha Canaan. V'yova Canaan. He came to Canaan. Of course. Well, his father went to Canaan and never got there. Because his father stopped halfway. Because that land was given not to Terach, it was given to Abram. That's why Abram got there and his father didn't. And he went throughout the land to Mokum Shechem, which is up north where Yosef is buried, at Elon Mored, to the trees that teach. That's eventually 400 years later, we're going to be 450 years later, where they go to the two mountains and get the two mountains. One is fertile and green, and one is a rock. Both next to each other, same height, everything. And the one has trees, one doesn't. That's the trees that teach. Har Grizim, Har Avol. You want to be like Avol? You want to live a life of curse? Or you want to live like Grizim, Bracha? That's when Yeshua brought him in. The first day he went to Har Grizim, Har Avol. You have a choice in life, either or. You want to be behind the 8 ball, Avol, and you want to be blessed with Grizim. You want to live a greasy, nice life. That means fertile and oily, lubricated. You want to live, you have a choice. So right away he went to where 450 years later Yeshua would bring the Klal Yisrael, also the first day. Elon Moreh, up north there, next to Shechem, 20 miles to the left. You ever been there? You've seen it. Trees that teach. That means Har Grizim, Har Avol. Kanani Osbaris, and the Kanani was still in the land. Olive Zion. They were still there, and Avram was taken over. And you can change the phonetic relationship of Aleph Zayin to Ayin Zayin. They were very strong yet. It's not given to Avram yet, but he's going to get it. V'yom Hashem Avram, Hashem said to Avram, V'yom L'zarchu Etem Zohar Zezos, to your children I will give this land. V'yivim Shom Mizbeach, and he made an altar, Hashem, to us Yud Kei Vav Kei Midas Arachimim. Hanir Elov, that appeared to him, which means he started to preach and give seminars and shiurim on monotheism. So now the Muslims have a claim. They say, see, your children. we get Eretz Yisrael too. Lezarecha eteinis oretz azos. To your children, I'll give this land. So the Malach will say, well, we need 2 states. Both of them, Avram and Yishmael, right? Lezarecha. There's only one problem. Yerusha to children is only through your own children, through a wife, not a concubine. Hagar was a shivcha, and the son of a shivcha was an eved. An eved does not inherit his father. He's a lizarecha. And then it says, not all of your children, only your legitimate children, your wife. A pelegesh, a shivcha, has no ksuva. She doesn't have to do anything for her husband, just make babies. And he doesn't have to give her, support her, except if she works. But a man has to support his wife if she doesn't work. And a pelegesh is as a shivcha. And a shivcha child's an eved. And that's not your son for inheritance. For Yerusha, not. So therefore, Yishmael is out. He robbed waters, there was a hunger in the land. But here that saw him, Avram Mitzrayim, he went down to Egypt, big country. Why? Hashem said, this is your land, and then he makes a hunger to test Avram. This is your land, how come everybody should suffer of hunger, but not you? You're the biggest tzaddik in the world, so why do you have to go to Mitzrayim? Here that saw Mitzrayim the good Sham. He covered the robbed waters, there was very heavy hunger in the land. In fact, when he left, it got worse. Because when a tzaddik leaves a place, all the glory leaves with him. So, that's in the Soya, one of the 10 tests that Avram had. I'm giving you this land, and now you have to leave because there's no food there. So why don't you just stay there, and Hashem has a nay on you, you'll nisim, and let the other people go away. Well, how come you don't pass the test? Says the Vilna Gaon that Avram, the Ramban said, the Avram did a big chet. Should have had trust in Hashem. Says Rabbi Feinstein, every year at Lech Lecha, in the Shalosh Udas, that this is a forgery of Ramban. He never wrote it. Talmud To'ek Kosav Zod, an erring Talmud misquoted him, which means it's a forgery. He never said that. Wow. Really? He said because Chazal doesn't say it, he has no right to say it. So Sham Shmuel Hirsch never fights with anybody throughout the Chumash. Here he spends 2 pages. He says, the Ramban says it, and he says, I can't see what Avram did any chet. And he goes to 2 pages, explains it. So my father and the Zohar, father explains the Zohar, he says Avram did a tremendous chet. It's a legitimate Ramban. He did a tremendous chet. And the Ramban is right, but you have to explain it like this. He says, Chator Gedola also Avram Avinu B'Shogeg. My father says, if it's a Chator Gedola, I'm going to be B'Shogeg. It's amazing. Avram Avinu was the biggest tzaddik in the world. He brings an Evan Ezra and says, Kasher Hikriv Lavo, when they Hikriv, he brought them close. Should say by Yaakov. Avram came with his wife. What means Hikriv brought them? Hifil. Avram Avinu was coming down with 318 people. Avram Avinu miscalculated his gadlus. Him and his wife, they could stay in Eretz Yisrael. They could trust in Hashem. Avram didn't think he had this chus to save all those other people, the converts to monotheism. He didn't think he had that chus. He underestimated his godless. That's what Father says in the Mayim. He grossly miscalculated his godless. Chator Gedola B'Shogeg. It was a mistake. He was such an honor. He thought he has a little schus for him and his wife. He could stand the hunger. He wouldn't have to go to Mitzrayim. But he did a miscalculation of his godless. He had the schus to save all the people. He didn't know that. That's why it says, Ebenezer says, Hikrid, should say Korah. No, all the people, we can't, how can I, who knows? Maybe they don't have schus to be saved, to stay there in Canaan. He didn't know that he had the schus to save everybody. That's the godless. That's what the Zohar means, my father said. And it's a legit Rabban. Hine no yodata vayhi kashehikriv, when he brought them. Lavo Mitzrayim, v'yomer el Sarah ishto, said to Sarah his wife, Hine, behold now, no yodati, I know, I happen to know now, ki ish yifas mara, you are a very good looking woman, she was the greatest woman in the world, beauty next to Chava. You're a very beautiful woman. So, people want to say that he never looked at her. Rabbi said, that's not true. You're not allowed to marry a woman unless you look at her carefully, know who she is. He doesn't say, Hine, I told you that, now I know you're beautiful. He said, Hine, no, I knew it all along. He's not a fool. Hine, behold, now I realize, no, please, to recognize this, Yodati realize, Ki isha yafas marat, you're very beautiful. We're coming into Mitzrayim, they're the children of Cham, they're black. Cham was black, brown, dark brown, and Canaan was brown, and Mitzrayim was brown, and Cush, Ethiopians were brown. You're a white woman, super beautiful, and you come into a black country. And they're going and it says they're going to immediately kidnap you and take you to Pharaoh. And of course, if I'm the husband, they're going to kill me without any question. So tell everybody you're my sister. And it's not a lie. Because B'nai Bonim Kibonim, grandchildren like children. She, Terach is Terah, Sarah is Terah's granddaughter. And he is a Terah's son. So B'nai Bonim Kibonim, so they're brother and sister. Not really a lie. It's really his niece. But you're very beautiful. You are now putting us in danger. Putting me in danger. When the Egyptians see you, they'll say, obviously that's the man's wife. They'll kill me outright without asking a question. They'll keep you alive. Imri, no, please say, you're my sister, which she is, and he's, relative. Laman yitabli, it'll be good for me that I'll live. Because of you. My life will be spared because of you. Now wait a minute, are you allowed to lie? By voice, are you allowed to violate every mitzvah in the Torah to save your life? Even eat Yom Kippur. Except three things not. Shlosha Chamuros, the three cardinals. Gila Rayos was another Jewish woman. Shvichas Damim was another Jewish person. And Avodah Zorah, you cannot do that. You got to give your life to that. Because if you do those things, your life is over anyhow. So this is not one of those things. So you're allowed to do every Aveira in the book. But the tzaddik, you can try to do the least amount of Aveira possible, because really it's a sister, because B'nai Bonim Kibonim, grandchildren are children, so he's Terah's son, and she's Terah's granddaughter, so it's equal. Rabbi Sai, we're talking about the greatest man in the world. Let's go one piece more, and then we'll end it. Okay, let's talk about Lot, his nephew. Yal Avram mi Mitzrayim, he got out of Mitzrayim. They gave him special guards, security, that no one should touch her, because if the king can't have her, nobody can. And he gave her gold, he gave Avram gold and silver and cows and the male maid servants and female servants. One of the female servants was Pharaoh's daughter, Hagar. Avram mi Mitzrayim, who Ishto, his wife, still his wife. He didn't touch her, because when she was kidnapped by Pharaoh, Sarah said to the Malachim, beat him. He started to bleed, and all his organs stopped up. He couldn't blow his nose, he couldn't urinate, the chickens didn't lay eggs, the cows didn't give milk, nothing produced, everything was stopped up. Hashem stopped up his organs, he couldn't touch her. And Sarah said, beat him. And she knew that she was a holy man. So Hashem came to Pharaoh and said, you better let the man go. She's the wife of a Navi, or you're a dead man. And Avram prayed. He said, Avram will pray for you. If he prays for you, you'll be cured. Otherwise, you're dead. Avram, of course, prayed for him, because Pharaoh didn't know any better. He doesn't know the rules that the games of the way Avram plays the ball game. They live with a different idea. There's no God. There's no all-superior God who knows everything. Avram excused this man. He didn't know how the rules of the game. So he prayed for him. He got cured. And why didn't Avram pray for his wife when she was kidnapped? Why didn't Avram pray her son Yitzchak should not be taken on the Akedah? Why did he pray for scoundrels in Sodom? You know why? Sodom, maybe these Rishoyim in all the 5 cities, maybe there's 10, there's 50 people, a million in every place. Maybe there's some people better than the rest of tzaddikim in comparison. But Sarah was on a higher level than Nevuah, than Avraham, because the Moreh Nevuchim says, remember, that she was on the 11th level, he was on the 10th. That's why I told Avraham, listen to your wife when she wants to throw Yishmael out of the house. Shema b'kola, she knows better than you. Avraham has to pray for a woman who's highest madrega, didn't pray for her at all. She could take care of herself, no problem. She had no averas at all, and of course she had the malachim around her, and the malachim always surround all people, all the time, everywhere you are, if you do God's will. If your name is Chaim, you know you say that pasuk before the end of Shemona Esrei. Chona Malach Hashem Sovan L'Rei V'Chalzim. The Malach Hashem surrounds people who love Hashem, and the malachim protect you. Chaim, Chona Ches Mem. Chona Malach Hashem Sovan L'Rei V'Chalzim. She didn't need Avram's prayer. Yitzchak didn't need Avram's prayer. He was a set tomim. He was a perfect sheep. He was a perfect tzaddik tomim at 37 years old. Didn't pray for him because he knew it's not a punishment, it's a test. You are being punished in life for 2 reasons. Either punishment for an Averim, or a test if you can stand it. The last, he was ready to shech Yitzchak. That's coming up. And ready to shech Yitzchak, Hashem said stop. The Malach said stop. You passed the test. I lost. The Satan lost and you won. Because Avram, when he says he saw the place, Mokum Merach, he saw the place far away. He saw God far away. Mokum, God is called Mokum. But going to the Akedah, he says, why does God want me to kill my son? I'm 137 years old, the boy's 37. And the whole cloud he saw is coming from this man, and I should start again at 137. I don't understand it. My little brain doesn't register. And he put his power of rationalization on the back burner. He says, I don't have to understand everything. Hashem told me, I'm 137 years old, spent the last 134 years, everything did make sense. This one thing doesn't make sense, so he saw the place far away, he saw God far away. He was irrational. Even after 3 days walking, he saw it that makes no sense. But Hashem is the creator, I'm convinced of that. And the last minute, the Malach said, stop. By the Akedah. Why did Hashem say stop? No, because why should Hashem say stop? He passed the test. If Hashem would have said stop, it would have mean that when he said in the beginning, take your son as Ola, he didn't mean that. That's canceled. Answer is no. You passed the test. It's over. Done. Like you shechted him. The Malach said, okay, you passed. Don't touch him. Don't do a thing to him. He says, all these days, all this preparation, and I put him on his bed, I bound him up, let me take a little drop of blood over here, symbolic. He says, Mu'umah, don't make a mum, don't touch him. I told you to put him up. I'm telling you to take him down. Don't you do your thing. You do my thing. That's why Avraham Avinu is called Eved Hashem. And Moshe Rabbeinu is Eved. You're higher than a king. A king has a personality. And Eved has nothing. He's Eved of Hashem. You absorbed into Hashem. You're the holiest man in the world, Moshe Rabbeinu. Because he considered himself like Adama. Nothing. That's why he's the greatest giant that ever lived. Mental giant. Because once you disappear into godless, you're godly. That's why the things that are invisible, like Hashem, are very important. Like gravity, like radio waves, like Nevuah, like Ruach HaKodesh, like the Neshama. Once you disappear, you're real. And once you're physical, you're unreal. So that can go away. Okay, Rabbi Isai, we're finished. And a little mini shir on Lech Lecha. Now we do Vayera and Chayesara, but next program.